Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Rukak, this is Jam Day Warehouse, and today I would like to talk about the debacle that was the Secret Lair 30th Anniversary Countdown Kit. Our favorite advent calendar. And I have to start by saying, I knew Mythic Edition, and sir, the Countdown Kit is no Mythic Edition, in terms of the debacle at least. I think dollar for dollar, this is way more valuable than the Mythic Editions were back in the day. So, for people who don't remember, starting with Guilds of Ravnica, Wizards of the Coast released a Mythic Edition. This was the in-between set. It was the next step beyond From the Vault. But we weren't quite to Secret Lair yet. So what they did was they sold you a booster box of Guilds of Ravnica. But with the booster box, there were 8 packs that had a special alternate art, full art, what is it, a vertical hollow, horizontal hollow, whatever they wanted to call it. Cards are gorgeous. I have a couple myself. But you would get 8 of these planeswalkers. And they would come in. The idea was you would buy this box, 8 people would draft it together, and each person who drafted or was in the draft would end up getting a Planeswalker as one of their draft cards. I think it was $300, $350, one of the two. But the first round, they said, we have 10,000 of these. That was it, 10,000. So, they said, be here now. Gave us a website and a date. I wanted to say they did it on eBay, possibly. No. First time was on their own site, and I believe it was second. Was it second time on eBay? God, it's been so long. I haven't thought about this in 3 years. But whatever site they went to, it crashed. So there are people who are ordering it, getting extras, people ordering it, not getting any. Couldn't even pull up the website. We Magic players. At the time, they said that we had 20 million Magic players, which means probably closer to 10 to 15 million people playing, which is still a lot because you only had 10,000 that all of these people were scrambling for. So, sold out in less than 3 minutes. Computer issues for everybody. It was wild. It was seriously wild. So, Ravnica Allegiance comes along. Like, we fixed the problems. It's going to be fine this time. We doubled the number that we're going to send out. There are going to be 20,000 Mythic Editions. Still sold out in like 3 minutes. Computer issues. People ordering one and getting a ton, getting like 10. Other people ordering 2 or 3 and not getting a single one. Some normal, like same things as the time before that. Then War of the Spark came around and they're like, Okay, this time we're going to give you Jace the Mind Sculptor. We've fixed all the problems, don't worry about it. Came around and had the exact same issues a third time. And there was a class action lawsuit against him. So they were shipping out foil sheets, foil uncut sheets. Some people got toothbrushes. That was a thing. So the final, that debacle was so bad that Wizards was literally being sued. Now, Secret Lair Countdown Kit. From my experience, that morning at 11:50, I had the website up. At 11:58, while I was working, I stopped working and stared at that my phone screen. And then, with 10 seconds left, I got the beat pattern going 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down to where as soon as it hit 0, I tapped the button that was not there, and by the time I hit it, the button was there, letting me shoot right in, put the thing in my cart, get to the checkout, go through PayPal. No issues whatsoever. I went through as a guest just to be sure that I was able to get through fast enough. No problems for me whatsoever until I was waiting for my confirmation screen. When I got to the confirmation screen, I got a 502 error. And I know better than to refresh anything on Secret Lair page. Been down that rodeo before. So I pulled up my bank account and saw that I was charged for it. And I was like, okay, that means I should have it. At this point, it was 12:06. So for me, the whole process was 6 minutes. I X'd out and then pulled the page back up and watched the countdown going on, because I knew that if I got the 502 at the very end, that meant that there was probably another issue. We're looking at another crashed website, and I'm sure they didn't think that it would be a crashed website. I hear that Here Be Dragons went very smoothly. Maybe Shaggy is better at working a computer than Wizards of the Coast. Who knows? But I pulled up the page so I could see when it was out of stock. I went to Discord, went to Reddit, and watched the chaos ensue. There are people who are being put in line for a half hour. There are people who, like me, were trying to do it as fast as possible and ended up getting a error and were sent back to the queue. There are people who are going to check out and were sent back to the queue. And there are people who didn't realize that they had put as many in the cart as they had because of errors. There are people who went... I don't believe anyone who went to check out had 0 in their cart, even though they but you'll have to correct me on that one. Point being, it was a chaotic shit show. And at 12:54, I saw my button go from pre-order now to no longer in stock. So you had 54 minutes to get in, do what you had to do, and get out. And I'm sure there are a lot of stories like me of in, out, no issues, buy. This was a debacle. It was no Mythic Edition debacle. I was still able to see the website. I was able to go in and out. If this was a Mythic Lair or a Mythic Edition debacle, then I could not have gone in and out. There was not a single person who had a good day when a Mythic Edition dropped. And the value in this thing is insane. We're seeing Chrome Mox foils pre-selling for $250. Necro's like a $45 card for non-foil. Non-foil Chrome Mox is $140. Basically pays for your secret lair. The art's gorgeous. The pics are phenomenal. As I've said before, I believe this is a love letter to the hardcore vets like me. And I'm not going to say this was perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It was not. And the ways that I think they could have fixed it was they could have paid for more bandwidth. They could have bought the extra servers. They're so all in on that gimmick of 30. They could have instead, because you could have ordered 30 of these. That was the limit, because secret at 30th edition, 30. Instead of selling 30, they could have made their purchase options 1, 2, and 3.0. Drop their print run. I've heard their print run was 35,000, which would make sense with how the prior limited editions have all been. Here Be Dragons was 10,000, if I recall. The first Mythic Edition was 10,000. The second and third Mythic Editions were both 20,000. So 35,000 does not seem out of the picture. And hey, because they're already printed, we might be getting them they might be in the mail as soon as next week. You don't know. Back in the day, I've purchased a lot of secret layers, and back in the day, if you got it in the first 10 minutes, it would be in the mail in the first couple days because they had already pre-printed a handful. And 7 days from the time you ordered till the time it was at your doorstep was the norm. If you were the first 10 minutes. If you weren't, then you sometimes had to wait 2 or 3 weeks. But this was really early on. This was 2019, early 2020. Once COVID got in full swing, then that just broke Secret Lair. But before COVID got into full swing and there were printing issues, you could feasibly order. I think I got the Thalia. I got in 4 days, actually, which is also one of the least printed ones. If I recall, I remember hearing it was like 11 or 12,000 copies of that Thalia. So this will be on time because I've already printed it. Hell, it might have already been shipped if it wasn't for all of the issues that they're having. So as I said, pay for extra bandwidth, buy extra servers because it's their website. Make the options 1, 2, or 3.0 and drop the print run to 30 so you can still preserve that exclusivity that they're going for. If they did those 4 things, I don't think there would have been a single person who had an issue with this, because more people would have gotten their hands on it. It would have still had the very high value. No, there would have been less chance of the server crashing as hard as it did. And it would have been on sale slightly longer. We might have actually gotten to 2 or 3 hours. But with that in mind, that's my critique of the rollout. This was no Mythic Edition. It was a debacle, but it was no Mythic Edition debacle. And who knows? I hear rumors that they might slap one of those $250 proxy packs into each one of these as a way of being like, thank you, we're sorry. And you know what? If they do that, then who are we to complain? And go ahead and double the value of this thing. Because they did, there are only 30 drops, and you're supposed to open a pack a day from December 1st to December 31st. So obviously the secret drop is going to be the 31st one. I personally think they're going to put in from a small selection of cards from one of the Phyrexia sets. All will be one. I guarantee. My thought is they're probably going to put in a card from All Will Be One in the 31st slot as a way to tease the next set that's coming out in 3 months or so. But that's my theory. So tell me in the comments below what was your experience? Did you have a good experience trying to buy this? A bad one? Most likely a bad one from what I understand. Were you like me and you got in and out in 6 minutes? Oh, and do you like this set? I adore this Secret Lair. I think this is one of the best products they've made in a long time. There is not a single... Okay, there's 1 or 2 whiffs in the 30 cards. 1 or 2 whiffs. But even then, they at least clipped the ball. There is nothing here that makes me think, oh man, they definitely picked the wrong one. Just more like, I think there's 1 or 2 that could have been better for nostalgia purposes. With things, for me, Chrome Mox and all the cards from the 2018 till after, none of those really are the nostalgic pieces. For me, I would have gone with Loxodon Warhammer instead of Chrome Mox. But, what do I know? Leave your comments in the comment section. I am Rukak. This is JM Day Warehouse, and have a good evening.